us on season 7, episode 35, where we watch Race to Survive Alaska, season 1, episode 1. And you guys race, then you survive. I'm Chris Lorenz.
Don't know how I'm freaking alive. This is Brian.
I need some electrolytes. This is Noah.
I'm a Max of all trades. This is Max of all trades.
No one took I'm going to see you in heaven.
That one's got dark, man.
No, I mean, it was kind of dark. All right. So, this is the first time listening. We watch a new reality show each week, figure out if it's good or bad. Last week, we watched Celebrity Prank Wars, and we put a poll up on Twitter, and you guys put it at a bottom third show. I forgot to put the bottom of the bottom in the poll, so I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
But anyway, Noah, what is the show we watched this week?
In one of the toughest competition shows ever attempted, 8 teams of elite athletes embark on a harrowing journey across the unforgiving Alaskan wilderness. However, with no food or shelter, they must fend for themselves and survive off the unwelcoming land. Over the course of 6 different race legs, 46 days, and 300 square miles, teams will traverse through some of the harshest and most extraordinary landscapes in the world, from sprawling mountain ranges to massive prehistoric glaciers and never-ending suffocating rainforests. Teams will be tested like never before, enduring physical pain and challenging their mental fortitude. They will scrape and claw and forge alliances and backstab their way to claim a spot in the finale and a chance to win a life-changing $500,000 prize if they can survive the hostile land and each other.
Thank you.
That is Race to Survive Alaska on the Peacock.
I mean, I already have a complaint with that because they are given food, so they're given some sort of rations. So anyway, we'll move past that. So how I describe the show is so they're dropped off in Alaska. They do this kind of amazing race bit where they're like race across like this like the wilderness of Alaska, and then they have to survive. And this goes on for 6 legs of a race over 40 days. So they're like, who knows how many days of racing? I don't know how many days of surviving, but it's like a combination of like paired alone and amazing race. So you're like 2 people together, you know, they got that whole play off each other. They're friends, they're brothers, there's father, son, you know, kind of situation. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, they had some good dynamics. It was like all types of relationships.
Mm-hmm. So at the end, the winners win $500,000, which is pretty good, especially for a show on, I think, UPS?
USA.
It's USA.
Formerly USA, but let's be honest, it's the Peacock.
I mean, you're watching it on Peacock, at least for now, until you lose access to Peacock in June.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so they drop 8 teams in Alaska. They have to go 14.3 miles in the wilderness through like a rainforest, some sort of bog. They have to go across like a rope bridge. And, you know, then, the last team at the end is eliminated.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If all 8 teams make it to the end, which...
Seems unlikely so far.
Which they don't.
Yeah.
Which we know in this episode, one of the teams, somebody on one of the teams gets heat stroke, like really bad. Like apparently, the end credits. Well, they had to, helicopter her out, and then at the end they said, "Oh, she's okay," but she spent 3 days in the ICU.
That's
so,
terrible.
That team was Brett and Esther. Esther was the one that got heat stroke.
They also had the heaviest backpacks. Like they were not in the best spot for this.
Well,
dollars.
You got to win the money. $500,000.
Well, they're already done.
You got to try to win. So, like, they make this kind of narrative. Who knows how much this narrative actually played a part? Esther's like, I need some electrolytes, and like. She kind of falls at some point near like there's some terrain there. We don't really know. We don't really get to see it that well. And then she's like, looks catatonic.
Yeah, I mean, well, she was like hiking, right? And so, like, she's just in the middle of the forest.
Like, it's Alaska, but in this like episode, they were showing how hot it was. It was like 80, 82 degrees during this hike. So like, it's not an easy hike. You know, it's a pretty hard hike, 14.3 miles.
Yeah.
Like, they're hiking for, I don't know. They didn't hike the whole 12 hours, but you only have 12 hours of hiking. But like, that's a long day of hiking.
Yeah.
Like in a race setting too. So like, hey, on a normal hike, you might have stopped and got some water, but like, oh, we got to win the race, right? Even though it's unclear what happens when you win the race. Like, is the overall winner based on how many races you've won? Do you get like a head start at the last one to win? Like, unclear what winning this race actually means for you. Other than being last place, you're eliminated.
I mean, I can think of one big win. Like, you could just nap it out for the rest of the time.
Yeah. I mean, so the clear advantages if you're there way earlier than other people is you get to the survive aspect. You get more surviving time to get more food, right?
Yeah.
Very clear advantage. But if you are like, hey, I might be getting heat stroke.
No good.
Yeah.
Like, there's no real penalty for stopping and like getting some water and waiting like 4 hours to continue.
Yeah, there's no penalty for that. Like, especially like you also can kind of know like who's behind you, so like you can just like rest up and then like
Well,
it's like racing and getting pit stop. Come on.
Well, we know who's behind and who's not.
They kind of know. Like, they're kind of like placing it. And it's like, oh yeah, like
I mean, some of them might know, some of them might not know. We do know one of the teams seems pretty far behind, and it's unclear how many people know that team is super far behind.
I don't even know how many teams know that team exists.
Exactly. That's what I'm like. Do you remember?
Like, when they were introducing everybody, I'm like, where's this 8th team? And then like all of a sudden they intro them and it's like they're just so far back. It's like,
Yeah,
did they give them like a delayed start or something because they're so good?
the ninja team.
Maybe they just wanted to limit how many people were introduced to at a time.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, of course.
They probably listened to the pod.
Whoa.
I think, yeah, Hakeem and Justice were the ninja team. They're friends. They're like, were they snowboarding friends, I think? Were they the snowboarding ones?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I just want a friend named Justice.
I just kept like, your name is Justice? I kept saying that.
It's great. It's a great name.
You know, it would be a cool name, Justice Timberlake. What if he becomes a judge?
Oh, Judge Justice.
But it's got to be Justice as the last name. So like David Justice, the baseball player, if his kid becomes a judge.
I think if you like do one of those like TV judge things, you can just call yourself whatever the hell you want.
I mean, for sure. Like, you're on TV.
That's
Like,
true.
it's Judge Judy. Judy is her first name.
Yeah, but Brian wants a friend named Justice. Like, we need to. Should we just get Brian a dog or a cat?
No, a turtle.
A turtle.
That is actually a really good dog name.
Turtle.
No.
All right, let's go over the rest of these teams, and we'll move on from there. So we got Max and Christian. They're survival expert friends, and Max is Max of all trades.
Yeah.
That's all I wrote down for these people. Anyone got any notes?
Nope.
I did not pay that good attention to the show.
Disappointed. Then we got Favia and Genevieve. They're professional rock climbers, all female team.
Okay.
And I asked Brian this question.
Yeah.
How much do professional rock climbers make?
So they can earn as much as $300,000 per year if you're like a celebrity.
Yeah, if you're like the top one of like top number one.
Yeah.
But how much does a regular professional like what?
Okay, so if it's your career, it's like 50 to 100K. Sorry, 50,000. Yeah, 50,000.
But how are you getting this money? That's my main question.
I mean, like you're getting endorsements and stuff like that, like maybe competitions.
I can see endorsements being worth some money for sure.
I mean, there were some good endorsements from like some of the flashbacks. One team had Corona.
Oh,
that's a big win.
That's a big brand. That's a big one. All right. So
yeah, but you have to be insanely good. Like and there's no guarantee that you'll ever really make it. This article says.
Well, if these people are already professionals,
Yeah.
supposedly.
Yeah, and then
I mean,
they also had a lower tier called the fringers, the dirtbags
The
and dream
fringers.
chasers. These are people who can get by while rock climbing, but will probably always be a little concerned about money.
what website are you on?
Ascensionism.com.
Okay,
That's a pretty good site name.
I forget if it was Favia or Genevieve that like had cancer in her leg or something. This was her sob story, which they really kind of breezed through this. This is a great way to do the sob story. Like we're just breezed through. And then they show her working out and she's like hardcore. Like rock climbing, I feel like is one of the like hardest. You got to work out so hard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a full body workout.
Yes.
That's also like just the fact that like she can do all this now is like it makes it's still a sob story, but at the same time like you did good to recover from it.
Yeah.
And I feel like rock climbers are the only people that are good at Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, I mean that they have the upper body strength to do some of the crazy upper body shit. Like
I mean, it's just like Ninja Warrior's all upper body.
Yeah.
Like 90% upper body.
Yeah.
I watched one recently and it was like they added even more upper body stuff. And I was like, oh my God. Like
yeah, they just really want people to not pass this course.
I know. All right, let's move on to Robin and Elizabeth. They are friends that they met recently, so that's might be some strife here. They are doctors and they met while skydiving like in Egypt. Like, they say on the pyramids?
Over the pyramids.
Over the pyramids.
Yeah. What a great way to meet. Like I meet all my friends skydiving.
I mean, it's pretty loud up there in the plane. I don't know that it's a great place to meet people.
No, it's not.
You can't really have a conversation.
Yeah, but you're in Egypt at that point with these people.
Wait.
So.
What if like one of them is the training instructor and like you're strapped to their back and you gotta have a chat.
But they claim they were doctors, so
That's true.
I'm not sure I really want to do like these extreme kind of like things in like a foreign country. Like I'm not sure I trust the Egypt skydiving people to go skydiving in Egypt.
I mean, skydiving is one of those sports where if they're messing up a lot, you're going to hear about it.
Yeah, but they don't have to mess up a lot. They just have to mess up yours. They got to mess up one time.
Yeah, but that can happen anywhere.
That's fair, but I just don't trust like third world countries. I don't know if I can use that term anymore.
I think they're good. I think that like there's a
like
lot of
if there was like
risks.
bungee jumping in like Egypt, I wouldn't do that. But if there's bungee jumping in the US, like I would be more willing to do that. Like I think the safety record in the US has to be high. And it doesn't necessarily need to be high in like other countries. And I
Maybe.
wouldn't know.
Yeah.
You know. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I still think it's worth a go. I think like parachuting over the pyramid sounds really, really cool.
I'm sure. These people survive, so maybe you'll survive.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. That's a good criteria for doing something.
Yeah, well, I survived.
If it's cool.
I mean, yeah, like if I actually go out like just like skewer on the pyramids, then that's pretty cool too.
If you skewer on the pyramid. I don't think the pyramids are that sharp, bro.
I don't know, man. They look pretty sharp in those pictures.
I don't think so. Yeah, like 40-ton limestone that's been there for. Okay. All right. Speaking of cool bros, we got Oliver and Wilson. They're from Nome, Alaska. They're brothers, and they seem like one of them definitely has a nice stoner laugh, like a like.
Yep.
I don't know necessarily if they're stoners, but they got the stoner laugh. That's all I know. Brian, what do you have to say about these people?
They were fun. They kicked ass too. So
Yeah, they were like we saw at the end of the episode. This is the only team that made it to the end, and this is like maybe midday on the second day.
yeah, like they absolutely killed it, and
They crushed it.
yeah, I mean, if I had to make bets, like they're just gonna make it all the way, unless like they also didn't seem like they were like dead tired either. So like, if this wasn't a challenge, like, cool, like nothing else is gonna probably pose that much of a challenge.
I mean, we have to see them survive though, because like it's like just as long as Survivor, and you know, you gotta get that food. More the teams that get the more food are definitely gonna end up doing better towards the end of this competition.
Those two are gonna befriend a bear and then get like loads of fish.
Befriend the bear and then stab it in the back and eat the bear. Like getting a bear or a moose in this challenge would be terrible.
Yeah, you're not keeping it.
Because you can't keep it. You can't eat it. You're like, oh, I got to spend the next 24 hours smoking the bear meat so you can keep some of it.
I mean, yeah, get some jerky.
Like
But it
the
would-
teams seem like somewhat near each other, you know. So even if you got a bear, like I'm assuming you'd end up using it to forge alliances.
Oh, Noah's thinking next level on this one.
Yeah.
Right? Like you become the provider.
Hey guys, would you like some bear meat? As long as you vote for me at the end.
Right? Like that's how you play the game.
Yeah, it's unclear how the end of the game is going to work.
Yeah. Yeah, very unclear. Although it does seem like there'll be it's not going to be like last one standing to a degree, I don't think.
I thought it seemed like that though, but
Well, it's going to be there's 6 legs of the race, and if they keep eliminating the last one, so you get
Yeah.
down to like the final 3.
yeah, then you got first, second, third.
That's why I'm just like, I don't think
Yeah.
it's advantageous for you to finish first in these, to push yourself to finish first. Obviously, it's
Right.
fine to finish first.
But I
But
mean,
if you're like
how
pushing
well
yourself-
how well can you trust that you know where all the other teams are?
that's what Brian says you know, and I'm like, you don't know.
You know, like a little bit. I think that like at a certain point, like nobody's like going. Well, if you can find the markers and stuff like that, you have a reasonable assumption that like, hey, nobody's gonna take like this crazy other path. Like you see all this stuff, like you know that like this is most likely it, and people would have to pass you.
Yeah.
I
Either
mean,
that, you're getting lost.
for this leg of the race, you probably heard the helicopter.
Oh yeah, you definitely heard that.
So, you know, might be a reasonable assumption. But
Mhm.
like I'm the kind of competitor that's like, okay, I made it to the end. I did as best as I can. You know, if I was last, I'm last. But like obviously I wouldn't be on the show because that's my attitude. And I don't
Right.
think they'd want that attitude on this show. Like I don't know what Team Ninja's up to because they're a mile behind everyone else, which is, you know,
And they're gonna be fine.
yeah, I mean they're going to make it to the next round. So we got Hunter and Jeff, which is the father and son pair. They're adventure racers. They're professional adventure racers. So their storyline ends up being like a lot of backstory about them being adventure racers, and you see the son go from like 8 to like now he's like 20 or something, which is kind of interesting. And then they've never had mussels or clams before, and in this like food thing they give them, there's mussels or clams, and they're like, we got to try these.
Yeah.
Of course, perfect time to try mussels and clams is when you're out in the middle of nowhere. And apparently the son gets very sick and throws up all night.
Yeah, I guess I would probably assume the same as them. Like you didn't have to cook this stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, who knows why he's throwing up? It just could be like his stomach doesn't like clams.
That didn't seem like, oh, I don't like this. That seemed like,
Oh yeah, I mean, like, he definitely had some massive throw ups there. I don't
Yeah.
know, nothing in his stomach left for sure.
ugh.
Who knows? But I guess one thing we didn't mention, which we need to mention, is that each day they have 12 hours of hiking only. So when they reach the 12th hour, the cameraman, producer, whatever that's there says, time to stop. So they have to stop, and they have to survive now for the next 12 hours. And that means there's no tent. So they all have bug nests or whatever, like a bug shield.
Yeah.
And you could have a tarp. Some people brought like mats to put down. Somebody used moss as their bed, claimed it was like memory foam, which you're a liar.
Yeah. But that was really interesting that, like, yeah, you're not allowed tents, so you have to construct your stuff. And then, like, I think the ground protection is really, really useful. And, like, all of it seemed like pretty generic and the same. I don't know if that was, like, given to them by the production company.
Yeah. It is interesting because, like, right now, it's clearly summer in Alaska. And they're clearly in like the low valleys. We see them with snow. Like, I don't, surviving in a snow area in the cold with no tent overnight is like not great.
We do not recommend this.
We don't recommend most things.
It's true.
But yeah, that might be the thing that, like, downfalls our boys in the lead. Just
Yeah, it
if
could
you
be.
can't construct a tent.
That's fair. Well, I mean, presumably, while you're at this, when you've got 2.5 days here, you might construct some sort of tent.
True.
Instead of hunting a bear that doesn't really help you.
But if you hunt that bear, then you can, like, skin it. Then you got that tarp over
I
that.
know. I was gonna say that if you had a bear skin as you cross the finish line of this show, you'd be the goat.
Yeah, first off, you're wearing the head right over the junk. Like, you
Oh,
got
I was like thinking you wear the head over your head.
Hmm.
I wasn't thinking codpiece here.
I think codpiece is the way to go.
I feel like it's harder to set up.
It's way
I mean,
harder.
it's nicer to not put that on your head, though. But,
I'm
Yeah.
just saying, if you like come over the mountain and the sun's behind you and you got this bear skin over your head, like that's you're the goat.
But now imagine you're coming over the mountain, the sun's still behind you, you're shirtless, and then you have a codpiece.
Yeah, you're malnourished. You look you look like you came out of Survivor after 40 days. You have there's no muscle tone.
Yep.
You're just coming out with this, pathetic codpiece.
Pathetic. It's bear head.
Okay. Okay. Did we go through all the people yet? I don't know.
Well, Jeff and Hunter were also sponsored by Corona and won in race, so I was happy about that.
Okay, Jeff and Hunter. We got Bella and Kaysen. That's what I wrote down.
Carson. Kaysen?
Kaysen. It's
Kaysen.
Yeah. Their brother, sister. Kaysen seems like an absolute nutcase. He did something called 7 Summits, which is like 7 mountains on 7 continents or something.
The 7 highest mountains on every continent. Yeah.
So is it 7 mountains on each
Yes.
continent?
No.
Or 7 mountains on one mountain?
7 mountains total, 1 per continent.
Okay. How do you even do the Alaska one? Or is Alaska not count?
Alaska is not a continent. Do you mean
Not
Denali?
Alaska. And
Antarctica.
Antarctica is obviously what I meant.
Yeah, you're on that cruise boat, and then you gotta
The cruise boat. You can get to Alaska not on a cruise boat.
Antarctica.
Antarctica, you got to take a boat to.
What, they don't have a cruise boat there too? I'm pretty sure they have one.
I'm pretty sure there's not one.
But anyway, you gotta be pretty loaded to do this. Like, I know going to Nepal. What's that? Kilimanjaro? Is that the biggest one?
Mount
Yeah.
Everest.
Mount Everest. Yeah, Everest is like pretty expensive to attend.
Well, that's mostly just to, like, deter people, because, like, they have a lot of
Sure.
deaths. They have a lot of people who, like, get the base camp and are just done because they can't handle the altitude change.
Yeah.
And-
Well, I
think that's-
mean, you got to pay the Sherpas and stuff. Sherpas?
Yes.
Sherpas? Yeah, it's expensive. It's like, it's 10, 20, 30 grand. I don't know how much it is.
Yeah.
Some internet corner could look it up, but he just
they should
walked
give
away.
they should give you a little discount if you make it to the top. Like, you know how you used to put the quarter into the grocery store carts and then you get it back at the end?
No, never
Yep.
used that before.
No, you have to do that by picking up some recycling or dead bodies.
Ah,
I've heard of that. That's true. There's
Yeah.
apparently trashy up there.
Yeah.
So-
A lot of
Uh,
CO2 cartridges.
so Anyone got any other minutia they want to bring up?
Did we talk about them being vegetarians?
Who?
The two vegetarians.
I don't know who is vegetarian or not.
It was two guys. I think they were brothers. I don't remember. I didn't bother remembering
Well,
anybody's name.
That's kind of suck because your rations are meat. So
Yep.
think
No,
you
they were
can-
talking about that in the mussels and the clams. You guys don't remember this?
No, don't remember.
Okay.
damn.
So, a quick cornering.
Yeah.
This seems way too high, but it says that most people pay between $40,000 and $50,000 to climb Mount Everest.
That
God
seems-
damn.
that doesn't surprise me.
Really? That's so much money to do something that can kill you.
You're literally paying people to climb the mountain with you, so they could carry your shit.
No, max out the credit cards, and then if you die up there, you're good to go.
I just didn't know it was that much money.
I mean,
It's definitely way more than I thought it was.
Like, I would have thought maybe like 10,000, 15,000.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there might be a way to do it where you're only spending, you're spending a lot less, but you're carrying more of your own shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just poking around the corner, and like, this person has covered this for like the past many, 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 many years. So this is most people, and some will pay as much as $160,000.
Yeah, if you want to do it, you're paying the 160 because you need to have the like 5 people carry all your stuff with you because you're gonna go super slow and you're gonna need more food, and you're gonna have to like cradle you across like ravines and stuff.
No, it's just like I had no idea. No idea.
All right, so I looked up on IMDb. The production company is called Original Productions. Very original.
So original. We definitely haven't done this show like 6 times already.
So they're like they've done Deadliest Catch. They did Growing Belushi. They've done this is like a very senior level production company.
Sure.
Like there's so many here that I can scroll through. They're simply called Mississippi Men. I guess, some of these are pretty old. Ice Road Truckers.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're history's go-to guys.
But this isn't on History Network.
I mean, they're all in the same. They're all in bed with each other. The network.
They have a very nice website. These people, very nice website.
So then we have 2 executive producers that are the showrunner. 2 showrunners. We
Okay.
got Bill Pruitt. He did Amazing Race from 2002 to 2008. Deadliest Catch from 2011 to 2012. He did something called Eat the World with somebody, which I can't read. And
Jimmy
then
Eat World.
he did The Apprentice in 2004 are his top IMDb credits. And then let me look up this other guy quick. We got Daniel Sozith. Sorry about your name because that's not how you announce that. He did Alaska, The Last Frontier, Got Game, Unchained Reaction, which is some sort of Mythbuster kind of show from 2012. It's with the Mythbuster people, and Cinema Secrets in 2001 were his top IMDb credits. We haven't done that Alaska show, which was going on for a while, but he's frequent in the Alaska. Apparently, it's still going. He's just not the show. He's just not the producer anymore.
Do you guys mind if I dip into the internet corner for a second?
Sure.
So I was thinking, there's so many TV shows about Alaska. Like, there's so many, right?
Yeah.
Is there a tax credit that makes it like you gotta do an Alaska show? No, there's not. There's 0 tax credit. Why is there so much Alaska show?
Because it's interesting environment.
You can go to Montana and it's like almost the same.
Yeah.
Montana has negative tax credits.
Why do you know that?
I'm just making it up.
Well,
Because you can name your show Alaska. We watched the show because it was Race to Win Alaska.
ooh,
I just feel like they got it's saturated. It's a saturated market. It's like vampire movies in 2012.
I got it. If you put Alaska as like the first part of your name, you are like first in the list and like alphabetical thing.
Oh,
But this one's
Well,
like
they fucked it up. That's their.
this one isn't start with Alaska. Also, Max, how many vampire movies were there in 2012?
dude, you guys remember there was a fuck ton of vampire movies coming out?
I don't think so.
Back me up here. Or there was like Vampire
Brian?
Diaries.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter, although I don't know what year that was.
Yeah, it's just shit like that.
I don't think vampires have ever been oversaturated. Zombies, sure. But vampires? Like the only vampire content is like that, like what's that weird
Twilight.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only like, and every once in a while there's another vampire show and like no one cares because vampires aren't that exciting.
They really aren't.
They're sexy.
Anyway, back on topic. Let's talk about vampires.
All right, yeah, let's get the questions. Who is the worst human being
Oh,
here?
just to close out. So I went to Google and then Chat GPT to see like, can we get the vampire answer? No. Even Chat GPT struggles with this. It's like there were several vampire movies released, and it goes list 4 of them. Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter, Hotel Transylvania, the kids movie. Yeah, nobody knows. Not even the AI.
I think you're just confusing zombies with vampires. Like zombies in 2012 definitely overplayed.
Zombies, definitely. I agree. It had that happened.
It had a moment where it was overplayed for sure. I agree with you. Okay, let's get back to questions. Worst human being, and why is it Brett for not knowing Esther was like way too close to being sick?
I was thinking that as well, but yeah, he should have like stopped and helped her a little bit. When she was like, "I need electrolytes." No. You don't push forward. You stop.
Yeah, I think that just like, he's not a terrible person. I just think in the context of the show, he let like if this wasn't a show and they just were hiking, like she's probably not going to make that.
Yep.
So, and it's a solvable problem of just being more conscious of your partner. Anyway,
they're supposed to also care for one another. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know if this really stands out. Like maybe you could say the producers, but like people are signing up for this, so I don't know. I don't think anyone. Yeah, I don't know.
Nah, the producers can't be like, "Hey, you guys should stop. She doesn't look very like."
Yeah.
If she's going and he's going, like, you can maybe make that comment, but like you can't force them to stop.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's why they have the medics all over the place, and they probably just was like, "Okay, she doesn't look good. You follow her."
I do think the medics didn't do a great job, but
well, I mean, like, in terms of what? Because like, what could they do really?
I don't know. I don't really want to second guess the medics here, but I don't think. Anyway, let's move on. Would the show be better as Noah's favorite, a Quibi / TikTok?
Maybe as a TikTok. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think the show's moving. I don't think it's got a lot of slack in it. It doesn't have like 40 minutes of slack here.
I agree. Yeah, I don't think so.
What's our next question? What are some drinking rules for this show? I think anytime somebody gets hurt, take a drink.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody got slapped in the face, some people fall, take a drink.
Drink when you bust those rations.
Oh, that's a good one. The rations.
Every time somebody pukes, you puke.
Oh yeah.
Drinking rules, not gross yourself out rule. Noah.
Every time they mention a bear, take a shot.
Oh yeah.
Anytime somebody gets food, like they like catch a fish, or they eat a slug. There's definitely we saw the slug like 8 times, I think, of somebody eating the slug. So definitely take some drinks for that. Anytime there's some bickering between the contestants, because I think that'll happen. Take a drink.
Cheers when they make it to the end.
Oh yeah, cheers for winners. I like that one. Who's
Pour,
gonna
pour
hook up
one out for all the lost homies.
all the bears that they saw?
And the banana slugs. So many banana slugs.
Brian, I have a personal question for you.
What?
Who's gonna hook up next?
Ooh. Who are the couples on this show? I mean, it's probably got to be Hakeem and Justice.
The Ninja Bros.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any couples left on the show.
No.
The only couple was Brett and Esther. Everyone else were their friends. What about Robin and Elizabeth? I feel like less than a year old friends, doctors. Could happen.
It's about the closest.
Or do you think that one of the teams will cross contaminate each other?
Is that allowed?
I don't know. Will Robin and Elizabeth, talk to Oliver and Wilson and be like, "Oh, these young Alaskan bros here"?
All right.
Could happen.
Let's wait till the cold part and see what happens.
Yeah, they got to cuddle. Gotta stay warm. What do you love about this show? Noah, do you have an answer for me?
I like checking out some of the gear they have. Like they didn't go into it too much in the episode, but I like seeing the mats they were carrying in the back, and I'd be interested to see more of what they actually packed up.
Brian, what do you love about this show?
I liked little so they had little chyrons that was just oh, here's a tip or something to learn. So that was cool.
Is it Chiron or Chiron?
Chiron.
It's Chiron.
Chiron? Chevron? Gas? Max, what do you love about this show? Max, are you there? Dead air.
Sorry, I was muted. Apologies. What I liked about this show, A, it is Chiron, confirmed by Googling. B, I liked that I was able to view the show in my web browser because I could use my Firefox extension to watch the show at 1.6x speed.
Oh,
That's a big win.
You can do that with every show, Max.
Not every show, or not every platform.
But he did it for this show.
Okay. I kind of like this whole race and survive. I think it's got it's got a good mix of these people trying to win the races and and then we'll have to see how the surviving part works. I think the racing being in Alaska makes it's kind of got an Amazing Race kind of vibe to it, but it's a little more off the rails, old school Amazing Race, where they just got to get point A to point B to point C, and I think that that's pretty compelling. And I personally am excited to see more races and see how the surviving aspects of the show work. So that's what I love about this show. And before we do our last question, anyone have any other minutia? Brian?
Nope.
All right. So we do a rating system. We do a stack ranking system between top, middle, bottom, third compared to other reality shows. Brian, what do you got for me?
I think I'm going to put it bottom of the top. I thought this was really compelling and interesting to watch. I want to see who makes it to the end, mostly for our high boys.
Hi, boys. Noah, what do you got for me?
This definitely was pretty good. I am tempted to put it in top of the top, just because of the duration of the episodes and the amount of content to consume here. I don't know if I really want to consume all that content specifically on this. But I'm eager to hear more from Brian and maybe watch some quick cuts of the show. So yeah, middle. I'm gonna put top of the middle.
You mean some TikTok Quibi cuts?
Yeah, that'd be great. TikTok quick cuts.
Noah, what do you got for me?
Max, you mean
or
the
Max? That's what I said.
Wow, so rude.
Don't roll back the tape.
I was bored. I've seen the show a bajillion times. It was a quality take of the same shit. Middle third, middle of the middle. It was not offensive, but yeah, you need something new.
Yeah.
We should talk about that, but I think it's top third. I think it's pretty fun. I'm excited to watch more. I Like I want to see more of these races, and I want to see how the surviving aspect like bleeds into the races and vice versa. And I think this might be one of the best kind of racing shows we've seen. Like I don't
Whoa.
like what kind of races have we seen that were better than this?
This is a good one. Like,
Yeah.
no, I will give
Like
you that.
even like current Amazing Race, when I've seen an episode of that, it's like, okay, you know, it's just kind of set piece to set piece. Almost feels like a movie. Whereas like this, you know, I feel like there's a lot more going on.
Yep.
Who knows what the rest of the show is going to bring. And so we're going to get into shout outs. Brian he made me a poem. He told me he wrote this poem,
Ooh,
and I'm going to read the poem now because I think it's amazing.
thanks, bro.
Chris loves Taskmaster, biking, and bikinis. He's always up for a challenge, no matter how zany. He'll ride his bike through the city streets, and when he's done, he'll hit the beach. With his love for the sun and sand, he'll soak up the rays and enjoy the land. But when it's time to get back to work, he'll be ready to tackle any task with a smirk. So here's to Chris,
Wow.
our biking king. May he always find joy in everything.
That was like
That was
Brian,
incredible.
I don't know where you got that. That was great.
I don't know either. Yeah, like, and I mostly put in bikini because I typed biking and then my phone tried to autocomplete the bikini.
And is Chris the biking king or our bi king?
Oh.
You know,
Don't put any rumors out there, Noah.
you know, gotta get folks excited, Chris. Got
Yeah.
gotta keep it open.
Society cannot like handle this.
No.
So, Brian, what really happened?
ChatGPT
Actually, it was Bing Chat. It was
Yeah,
Bing
or
Chat.
whatever that thing is. Yeah, I don't know what.
Bing Chat.
Yeah, Bing Chat.
Bing Chat.
It's the same
Bing.
thing. Isn't Bing just the interface?
Yeah,
I don't know. I just go to chat, openai.chat or something.
Well, they just open but Bing was like the easiest way on your phone, but now today ChatGPT has their own mobile app, which much more efficient than Bing. Much more.
Noah, I'm so sorry. It's only iOS.
Well,
That's the only platform that matters, Max.
yeah, I
Come
would
on.
say like, what else are we talking about here? There's
Except
another-
for 50% of this podcast has an Android.
Yeah,
phone.
Chris and Brian are famous Android users.
Well, Brian is not an Android user anymore.
Oh, that's true.
apparently.
Yeah.
Brian is he's our bi king.
On the phone front.
He's got two. His Android and an iPhone. All right. Brian, do you have any real shout outs this week?
Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Go see it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it was
Definitely.
fun.
Definitely more of a return to Marvel goodness than Phase 4, I think. You know, definitely rivals Spider-Man for the best movie since Endgame.
That's a good call on that.
Noah, what do you got for me?
So I got my month free of Apple Plus. If some of you remember from the Brian and Noah episode, so binging Ted Lasso. I don't know if all the episodes are actually out yet, so I'll find out soon.
No,
Oh,
they're not all out yet.
oh man,
You're
Yeah,
gonna have
so-
to pay the $6 to continue watching it.
I know.
No.
So I might have to pay that, but then just been doing a lot of Apple content to get the most use of my free month.
I may have something for you.
There's 2 more episodes left. I have to say that what was I gonna say? That's like the future, I think, of these streaming services right now. It's like you sign up for one, you watch all the stuff you want to watch there, then you move on to the next one.
I mean, to a degree, right? Like, yeah,
I'm just saying, if like Netflix is gonna start charging me $30, like
yeah. There's definitely a thing there. Then they're gonna all try to do like sign up for 6 months, pay for 4 months, and then some will go bankrupt. And
Max, you got any shout outs this week?
Yeah, I watched 3 episodes of a new sci-fi show on Apple TV called Silo. It's
I'm enjoying that show too.
yeah,
watch it.
it's a little too early for me to say like, oh, you got to see this, but the core mystery seems interesting.
And it's based on a books trilogy, I think.
Yes.
A book series. So, it has like, I feel like a good core to it. It's like the first 3 episodes like were produced really well.
Yep.
Which is,
Supposedly it adheres to the books so far.
uh,
Is
I
it, though? Do you want it to adhere to the books?
Not necessarily, but I think it's a mostly good sign. Like, take liberties here and there if there's a superfluous character.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you want to do Lord of the Rings, I think, is the peak of like book book to screen. And that's just kind of like, it's like 90%, and then like 10% is just kind of things are a little shaved off here and there that don't necessarily add to the narrative as well.
You mean in like the detail in the movie of getting it as close as possible, or the TV show?
Yeah, and like I feel like Harry Potter might be the worst because it's like,
oh really?
It's like 20% of the book is in the movie, and it makes no sense.
Oh,
But that's just me. Tweet at me. So at some point I shouted out Mrs. Davis, I think, and I think I'm going to retract that shout out.
Oh shit!
It's
Wow.
like a weird show. It's not really panning out that well. The finale just came out today. I haven't watched it yet, so that could change it. But I definitely cannot recommend the average person go watch the show.
Man,
Does not feel like a Damon Lindelof project. So,
I mean, at some point, we got to stop giving him the benefit of the doubt, right?
I mean, he's only made like 3 shows.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, actually, did he do HBO Watchmen?
yeah.
Oh, that show ruled. Okay, I take it all
Yeah,
back.
he did. That's why I was watching the shows, because he did Lost. He was a showrunner on Lost. He was a showrunner on The Leftovers, which I just watched. And I think the first 2 seasons of that show are phenomenal. The 3rd season's okay. It was good. And then Watchmen is like a goat show, like whatever.
Yeah.
And this show is just like, he's not necessarily the showrunner. So, but he was like, his name is on the show. That's all I have to say.
Did you watch the HBO one where everyone disappears?
Yeah, that was The Leftovers.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, that's it for us this week. You can vote in our poll on Twitter at Who Put This On. You can find us on Facebook.com/Who Put This On. You can email us questions and suggestions at whoputthison@gmail.com. We'll see you guys next time. All right, and next week we're going to watch King of Collectibles on Netflix, season 1, episode 1. So if you watch that before we do, or continue with the pod, do that. And we'll see you guys next time.